Well. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Sketching Past Midnight. And where I'm at, it's not midnight. It's not past midnight at all. It's went beyond midnight. Actually, it's went straight into the morning. It's like let me see what time it is here. It is 10:01 a.m. where I'm at. But thankfully, because this is a worldwide broadcast. It's good morning, good evening, good night, wherever you may be. You are watching Sketching Past Midnight, and also, let me get my other stuff queued up here if I can learn to work the controls. I am your host, CB Smallwood, the greatest of all time. Yeah, that says it all. I'm very humble about that. And let me... Yeah. Hey, Dave. I'm glad you could join me. All right. So, what I want to do for anyone watching now and anyone that will watch in the replay, I want to give a quick few shout outs, and I promise I'll try to fly through these because I don't want to, people that seen them before may just go, I'm bored. But anyway, I like to do fan art because fan art helps you get better as an artist. And you're also helping out the people you're doing fan art of because you're helping to build awareness of their characters and of their product and of the creators themselves. So it's a really, really good symbiotic relationship. And I wish everybody would get into the habit of doing fan art of indie creators because it's just everybody wins. It's a win-win for everyone, in my opinion. But that's just me. So what you're looking at right now is Trial by Fire fan art. This is a campaign and is currently on Indiegogo. It's not went live yet, at least I don't think so. But you can go to Indiegogo if this looks interesting to you, and you can sign up. Trial by Fire. It's done by created by Peter DeLuca, and did the art, writing, all that good stuff. Trial by Fire. He also goes by AKA Pad. I've been saying his Pad. I have a really bad habit of mispronouncing people's names. It doesn't matter how basic it is. It's just the way my mind's wired. I might be like 1/4 dyslexic or something. I don't know. Whatever. But anyway, look that up on Indiegogo, Trial by Fire. And Peter DeLuca is all over social media. You can pretty much find him everywhere. Here is The Reverend by the most excellent Robert Johnston. And you can check this out at zerocomics.com. Zerocomics.com. Make sure to use an X instead of the CS because you'll be searching forever. So make sure it's the IX. Zerocomics.com. Robert Johnston's The Reverend. He has a free 3-page preview that you can check out on the website, and also all the other projects that he's working on. So this is his creation, The Reverend. We've also got this Wildcat fan art piece, most excellent. Really enjoy this. This is really cool. This was done not by me. I didn't do this. This was gifted to me by Will Avenger, and you can find the art of Will Avenger on Facebook, and you can look up Will Avenger or the art of Will Avenger on Instagram. So you can find him at those two places and check it out because most excellent indeed. But a little bit, it seemed like I glanced somewhere that he did a really cool vision. I haven't had a chance to like that yet. Now we're getting over to Mike Emmeritz's Sisyphean Complex, and I have to apologize. I have to apologize, dear sir. I've been spelling it Sissy. I've been spelling as Sisyphean. I probably still haven't spelled it correctly. I might not even spelled his name correctly. I don't know, but I think I'm more on the right track than where I was before. But this is Mike Emmeritz's Sisyphean Complex. I don't believe this is out right now. I think he's still working on it. I could be wrong. He's got been working on the outline, the plot, and script, and he's been drawing the pages and stuff. But you can follow him pretty much everywhere: YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. He's everywhere. Most of these guys, stuff that I'm showing you, they're everywhere. So Yeah, whatever your favorite social media is, more than likely they're probably there. Jeff Lafferty's may have added too many F's to his name. I can't remember. Well, yeah. Everybody knows who Jeff Lafferty is. Jeff Lafferty, Berserkernaut. Berserkernaut. Hopefully I spelled that right. Probably not. And this is my fan art of that. So Jeff Lafferty's Berserkernaut. You can find him at jefflafferty.com and all over social media. And he also does a show called The Original Artcast or The Artcast on YouTube. So check that out. We have the most excellent one, Marshall Lee's Expando, where justice is never beyond his reach. And yeah, I really enjoy the concept of this. Okay, Dave writes, it's Sisyphean, as in Sisyphus, the Greek mythology. Yeah, Mike had explained that to me before, but I'm a dunce. It's Sisyphean, as in Sisyphus, the Greek mythology of the guy who has to roll a boulder up a hill only for it to roll down the other side. Sisyphean, Sisyphus. I'm sorry. I'm like studying. I'm trying to ingrain that in my memory. I still spelled it wrong. Sisyphus. Sisyphus. Thank you. It's Sisyphean, as in Sisyphus. Sisyphus. Okay, Sisyphus. All right. I'm learning here. I like that. My mind is expanding. Thanks, Dave. Sisyphus. Okay, so this is Marshall Lee's Expando. You can find him on YouTube at Marsh Makes Comics, and I think on Twitter. And so look up Marshall Lee or Marsh Makes Comics, and you should be able to pull him up. And this is his character. And I just love this character. Actually, I loved all the characters I just showed you. I thought this was really cool. All right, now I want to get to the grand finale. Okay, well, I'll just go ahead. Let's not make any grander reveal than what it has to be. All right, so my newest fan art is this. This is Firepower by the incredible Abel Parson, who also goes by Abe Sapien. And out of all that, I'm pretty sure I spelled firepower right. If it's a basic word, I'm safe. Sometimes. But yeah, this is Firepower by Abel Parsons, and let me explain the thinking behind this and stuff like that. So when I was doing this fan art, first thing is I wanted a good pose. Now initially, what I wanted to go for was something that was a little bit more in your face. So something more like what I did with pretty much everything that you saw a while ago. Like something a little bit more like this, where it was a lot larger, where your main characters in the forefront. But I got inspired by X-Men 249. It might be Uncanny or just regular X-Men. It's the Mark Silvestri drawn cover. And so I was like, oh, I like that. You know, it's pretty bare bones. And so this is sort of a homage and sort of a not, because what I did is I added a lot more to it. So I don't know what you would call it. I'm not afraid to name my inspiration or anything like that. You know, it is what it is. But yeah. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna work with that. And what I like about it, and what I was trying to do with all the pieces that I draw, I'm thinking in my head, how does this one page, how does this one panel tell a story? What story is it telling? And so I try to put little things in everything that I do. And I don't always accomplish it. I don't always pull it off. Like, for example, if we look at Peter DeLuca's Trial by Fire, you know, I tried to make these characters somewhat animated, like they're doing something, you know. So I don't know what he's doing. He's either surprised or happy, and and he's flexing, he's posing, he's trying to be menacing, and we know by the dripping blood that he's pistol whipped somebody, or he's butted them in the head with his Kirby gun, and they didn't do too hot. They got hit pretty hard, enough to put blood on the end of it. So there's something going on there. Now, not all my pieces tell a story, but I'm trying. And so with this one, that's kind of the goal. So what's the story here? Basically just being overwhelmed, overrun. They're shooting all their firepower. See that? Firepower in this direction. So there must be a massive force of something heading that way. But they're also being flanked by zombies that are coming up through here and here. And hopefully I render these well enough where you can tell that they are zombies. So, yeah. This zombie was actually inspired by a thumbnail that I saw for White Bat Audio on YouTube. And the zombie was actually facing you dead ahead. And I thought it was so cool that I basically replicated it, but I changed the angle of the pose. And let's see. I really like his hat. I think he has a good taste in his prior life. And, he likes good music. And I would hope to think that maybe he has an MP3 player with a good battery, and his headphones are just kind of playing on this loop of some really good, really good music. But yeah, so what I was thinking about doing is, to answer the question, Dave writes, are you planning on coloring these fan arts? I am thinking about coloring these. I probably will at some point. Now, I'm pretty famous for having computer problems. And so I'm still dealing with that. And, well, let me rephrase that. I haven't dealt with it. And so what I'm going to have to do is going to have to, just man up and just go and freaking deal with it. I just don't want to sit there and put the work in. And I'm also enjoying doing this stuff. But anyway, when I get my computer up and running, what I'll do is I will color these. I'll do my lazy man, take a picture with my phone, get it on my computer, and just color that. Not even a high-res scan. And I'll add in a firepower logo here, maybe just some little custom doodad logo there. And I was thinking about putting a little blurb looking thing right here that says, I had the perfect word, it's not overwhelmed, but it's something like, final stand or last stand or something like that. And about font, that'd be about that big. And I was thinking making it look like this edge here was kind of wrinkled. Like I like the idea of trying to make this look like a old comic book. So I was thinking about that. Not so much in terms of colors, but in everything else. So I thought that would be cool. And I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. And I think it seemed like the reaction for most people is it's been very receptive. Because I was kind of worried that this character's way in the background, that would be an issue. But it wasn't, as far as I know. And what other thoughts did I have about it? That's pretty much it. So there's that fan art. And here is what I'm working on now, which everybody's seen this half to death. If I can just move my crap out of the way. I got stuff everywhere. Okay. So let's zoom out. Yeah, so that's pretty much a shtick of that. I've pretty much got like a full page here inked. There's only one thing that I haven't inked on this page, and that is, if I can get over here, this right here. I need to work on that pose just a little bit, Then I'm going to ink that, where I make it look a little bit better, hopefully. I'm starting to cross over here, and I got 40% maybe. Got 40% of this done, I would say, maybe a little bit more. And so I was working on the hand. I was having trouble with the hand, and I was like moving my hands around, just kind of looking at them, and then somehow something clicked in my hand where I fixed the hand. I'm trying to do this menacing thing where he's just, doing that type of thing. May need to draw his thumb out. Maybe I should do that. Right now, I don't know. Yeah, that don't look bad. So yeah, anyway, doing this menacing thing, what I want to do now is I want to take and try to flesh these ninjas out a little bit better, make them a little bit cooler looking if I can, adjust the poses, whatever I need to do. Kind of left a lot of it open-ended. So this guy right here troubles me the most. And I got this dude. Now, I know you can't really tell. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in. And there you will see a hidden ninja. He's invisible. There's his eyes. And if we look on down, he has a chainsaw coming out this way. So, yeah. I need to get him figured out, and this is a big issue because it's stopping me from finishing the floor, maybe a little bit of the smoke, and a couple other things. So that, I got to get him figured out. I got to get his pose down and all this other stuff. I have reference for this, and I'll have to dig that out. So that's pretty much where I'm at with everything. That was a mouthful, honestly. Everything I just went through is like blah, 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 a lot of stuff. Anything else I got to show before I get started? Well, I bought this at Walmart, and I look, I went to 2 Walmarts near me. Well, the one in my hometown, I know they ain't got it. At least I don't think so. So I went to these other 2 to look for it, and I found only 1 copy, and there was no display for the Allegiance Arts. Here's their logo. But I found no display for Elite Focus Camera. We're here now. There you go. Thank you. But I found no display for Allegiance Arts stuff, and it's supposed to be like this big red display that holds up to six books or so. I'm not for sure. And so I was looking around. I was looking at the toys because sometimes they'll put. I've seen where they put some of these books in the toys. Not me personally, but like online. And just all over, and also in the book section. I looked in the book section and I found 1 copy. One copy of anything that Allegiance had, and this was it. This was the only survivor. It's you'll notice the ripples and stuff like that, but that can't be helped. That's a printing. It just comes out printing, and I really don't care about that. I'm like everybody. I'm a little annoyed about the sticker because that's a little dumb. That's a distribution center problem because right here they've already got the price down below. Every magazine that I can think of nowadays has the price, usually on the back or the front near the barcode. So that's kind of dumb. But then here's this unfortunate thing. It's like torn here. So kind of don't like that, but like I just really wanted to get me one, and I had flipped through it at Walmart, and I thought the art looked fantastic. It was really good. Let's see, Dave writes, lighter fuel on a Q-tip should get the label off. Yeah. I was thinking that for a second, like my mind was picturing lighter fuel, a Q-tip, and a lighter. And I was like lighting the Q-tip on fire, like edging this, and then after I thought about what you just wrote, you never said anything about using a lighter. See, that's how my mind works. That's how I mess up things like Sisyphus and people's names. There's something in my brain that's 1/4 dyslexic, I swear. But anyway, yeah. But let me flip back through this. The art is great. I really enjoy it. You know, I like all types of different art. I like super detailed stuff. I like kind of cartoony stuff, and I like stuff that's in between. This is kind of in between cartoony and super detailed, and it's really nice. The storytelling is, I feel like, superb. It does a really good job of, you know, moving from A to B, B to C, and that sort of thing. And I really like art that tells a story with faces. I'm a big face guy, but all human beings are. That's one of the first things that we look at when we look at one another. We look at body language and we look at the face, because the face has its own little munitia. Don't say big words that you can't say, CB. The face has small little details that give an indication if somebody's mad, happy, sad, glad, whatever, you know, different moods. And like, you know, you see right here, just by raising the eyebrow, slight smirk of the mouth, you know, there's an interest, a curiosity. And I was right. I didn't even know, because I haven't even read this book yet. And, you know, he's like, how? And here's a fierce determination, you know, and I haven't read the dialogue yet. We need a new kind of lawman. You know, so look at that. Nice. So I like art that uses the human expressions, and capitalizes on them to tell a good story. I mean, like, this is something that most people would overlook. So a lot of people, and this isn't a knock at Jim Lee or anything like that. I don't mean it to be. But a lot of people would do this with like a Jim Lee stoic guy. Like, they might be able to pull this off, the crying girl clutching, which is that's a nice touch. But like, you can just feel the love and the warmth in this guy kissing on top of her hair, and a sympathetic touch on the back and stuff. So I like stuff like that. You know, that the little things make such a big difference, and I like stuff like that, and that's stuff I'm trying to put in my art. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't, and it's not because the concept has failed. It's like I just did a poor execution. Now here's the something else that I really like, other than reinforcement of everything I just said in terms of facial expressions and stuff, is the colors. I really like the colors in this book. It's got these muted colors. And I'm a fan of muted colors, and I'm also a fan of extreme contrast. And I guess this is more like extreme contrast. So it has the best of both worlds in a cool way, you know. Kind of a early Paul Mounts looking colors. And yeah, this is really cool. And look, you know, this is not realistic coloring. I remember I talked about this in another video that I'd done, and it wasn't a knock on it. I like unrealistic coloring, and the reason is it's contrast. You know, when you're making a comic book, you're the god of that universe, and you command the light sources and all that stuff. And sometimes, you know, you're going to pick colors that are not found in nature to make your characters pop. You know, because you want to draw, you want to set a mood. You want to create a mood. So you're actually taking something that goes deeper than facial expressions and body language, and you're trying to express how that person feels on the inside, you know, or that moment, you know, the feeling of that moment. So everything's cool and calm and collected. So you got a lot of these cool colors here, despite the fire. And then all of a sudden you got this kind of pinkish kind of one going into a red type of color to show a shift in mood change, you know. And then as he's fighting, you know, like he just turns bright red, you know. So he's the tension, the power, and everything's just escalating. And I like little touches like that, you know. I'm not saying I'm a color expert or anything like that, but these are things that I'm somewhat conscious of, and I try to incorporate in what I'm doing. Um, I like the whited out border there, you know, because you get all these filled in borders with lots of blacks, and this right here, that contrast is really cool. And I'm a big fan of Mike Mignola, and I really like. If you study Mignola's work, this is an interesting thing. Like if this was just in black and white and you didn't see the colors, something that Mike Mignola does is, well, let's do it from this angle. Better example. If there's a white space, he'll have black. Will be the next one. And if there's black here, the next splash you will see is white. And then if there's white here, the next splash you will see is black. And then white. So he stacks like that, you know, and it creates this really cool visual that's natural. And so that's something I'm trying to incorporate, you know, like when I do my shading and stuff. It helps me to know where to add sometimes my blacks and my light sources and stuff. I mean, like it's not like a go-to thing, but it's just a cool effect. It's more what I'm meaning. Knowing where the where your light source is coming from would depend where all your shadows is at. But just going beyond that in how you choose to render your stuff is something else altogether, you know. And this is a really cool introduction. I thought about this a lot. It actually looks kind of cooler when I tilt it, you know, that shading. But anyway, I thought this was a really badass looking panel. Because I was thinking, like, if I drew an introduction to that character, I would want to do like a full page spread. But here, he was able to pull off an introduction to that character. It looks awesome. You see the fear in this character through his body language. You have an imposing pose and stuff, and the reader's eyes just drawn up, you know, because the reader's point of view is like down here, and you're having to look up at this dude. And I think that's really cool because it adds, I don't know, a lot more weight or something. I don't know how to explain it. It's really cool. And but anyway, it got me thinking, you know, I was like, well, if I'd done this in the future, if I incorporated that idea in the future, which is not a new idea or anything, it's been done since time immemorial in comics probably. But if I'd done this, like, I was like thinking in my head, you know, would I be able to pull off and have the same effect? And then I was like, well, it'd be teeny tiny, you know, because maybe I need, you know, about this much to do that, or this much or that much. And then I reminded myself that when we read comics, we're not reading them down here. We're reading them more like this. And when you read a comic book more like this, you're going to see it's going to be larger than life, because, you know, a comic book is usually held about a foot away from your face, maybe, give or take. Could be wrong on that. I know this is like some weird impromptu review, but like when I have these ideas, I just kind of roll with them. Again, I love the coloring. The silhouettes are kind of orangey looking because they're illuminated by the fire, and that's really cool. And you can tell the person that drew this kind of had in mind a little bit of colors, you know, and yeah, now we're going back into muted colors. We went from having colors that were more, had that extreme contrast, and I love that. I love extreme contrast. It makes things pop. We go from that to these muted colors, which I enjoy too, because they give a sense of normalcy, you know, to things. And so when the situation calls for it, when things start to go beyond normal, then the color starts to explode, and see how things are going beyond normal. Something is important that's happening here, you know, whatever that may be. And then, yeah, just really cool. I like this whole montage. There's a secret project that I'm working on, like one of many. I keep talking about these secret projects, but and the secret project I'm wanting to do a similar montage, and so this is going to help and give me ideas, And yeah, I know I'm flipping through this whole book here. I think this is worth buying. My only issue, you've read the whole book there. This is based on a real guy, and it kind of explains his whole deal. Then you actually see his oath of office, oath of office. I'm trying to pronounce things. Stay tuned for the next thrilling episode, which arrives July 7th. They do these by episodes instead of by issues or whatever. I guess it makes sense since books are always relaunching constantly, and so their thought is they're just going to treat it like a television show, and they're going to call it a season. And after the season's over, they start a new story arc, And here's all the titles available from Allegiance Arts. And I'll get them all if I can, Also available at Walmart.com. So, Walmart does deliver. Yeah, they do. They'll mail stuff to you. So if you order online, a lot of people don't know that. Or you can get free pickup in the store, which is a hassle because some of the workers are atrocious and how they treat people in terms of customer service. Not all the Walmart workers, but some. And then the $4.98 price, like, oh boy, it still feels stiff to me, but it is what it is. So there you go. That's my impromptu review of Bass Reeves. It wasn't really a review so much of the story because I need to sit down and read it. I kind of read here and there, but in terms of the art and the colors, it's like really good, really good. So if you're a whatever artist like me, that might be something that you might be interested in picking up for anyone that might be watching the replay or watching right now. So let me sip my Dr. Pepper here. Okay, so there we are. Yeah. Cranking it open here. So I'm getting my train of thought here. I'm kind of thinking as I'm getting ready to dip this ink and whatever and do my thing. Now, for anybody that tunes in of the night, when the late nights, when I do my broadcast and stuff, I usually do these around 3 a.m., 3 in the morning, 3 past midnight or whatever. And I haven't been able to do those because everybody's messed up my sleeping schedule. So I'm waking up around 6 or 7 in the morning now. And so it's really thrown off my whole thing. So for anyone that watches my show around 3 a.m. CB time, okay, I'm sorry. So I figured, why not do my broadcast at a different time? Not like to make it a thing, but I really enjoy doing these. These are fun to me, even though I'm gobbing up the inks. What the heck? Well, anyway, I enjoy doing doing this show. It's fun, therapeutic. I enjoy doing it better at 3 a.m. because it's like my time. I feel like I do my best work when it's late. The Lion's Den writes, yo, hello, good sir. I'm glad that you're here with me. All right. It's probably an idea to ink with a brush, but man, on some stuff, some stuff you want to use the brush, other stuff you don't. But it really doesn't matter. There's no rule to this stuff. you can use a brush to ink the whole thing. A lot of people do, um, but like a brush is something that you have to have a lot of control over, and I just love the organic feel of it. I love how the ink flows on a page, and I love how just organic everything looks, and it adds a bit of a playful vibe to it. I can't really explain it. It's just nice. It's really nice. Do 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 do. There we go. Sorry, I'm getting quiet. This is me getting very focused, because I don't want to mess it up. You know what I could do? I could zoom this in where you can actually see a little bit better what I'm doing. Only problem is every time I zoom in, I'm always kind of drawing off page, usually right about down here. And it's just where I have this camera on this tripod in my face. It makes it a little difficult to do my thing. What's that noise about? Is that the noise that they used when whoever made this guy's armor? Is that how it sounded? I guess maybe that's the sound it made. Who knows? I got. I was getting ready to say, I don't know if you guys know this. Of course, you're not going to know this because it was in my head. But I got music playing in my head right now, and I can't get it out. But I don't want to get it out because I really like the song. It's just really good. And you can't even see what I'm doing. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I am sorry. There's other stuff I want to talk about, but I stopped myself because it's not really controversial. But these days, everything's controversial, And I think, well, I don't want to offend anybody because it's like I have an interesting, or at least to me, like a different viewpoint on things. But there's been all kinds of stuff happening lately. It's been kind of semi-negative. Not necessarily. It's not politics or anything like that. Just creative stuff. I just feel bad how things unfold sometimes. It's unfortunate. It is what it is, though. That's a cool looking hand. I mean, it's not like the most mind-blowingly awesome hand that's ever been rendered, but if I do say myself, that's a good looking hand. What song is it? Lions Den says it's 7:40. So what song is it? It's this guy named Wheeler something. He's a country singer. And it's called, if you look on YouTube, depending on what age everybody is, it's an adult song with a lot of adult stuff in it, So I'll say that. But the country singer's name's something other Wheeler. It might be like Wheeler Jr. I'm not for sure. And the name of the song is Summers in Kentucky. Summers in Kentucky. And then when she was 16, down by the creek. I don't know the lyrics, I know some of them, but the whole song is about this guy who laments this girl that he knew back in the day in Kentucky, and during this one summer, and they had a lot of fun together. But as they grew older and life moved on, and she went got married and had kids, and he's now like a country star that tours the world. And in the song, he tells, he's basically, giving this open letter, like, if you ever get tired of your man, bring you and your kids, and if you don't mind being part of a touring band, join my tour. Yeah. It's song's really sweet, honestly. And it's a brutally honest song. It's fun, And I don't know. I just enjoy that song for whatever reason. I like the sincerity in it. I'm getting quiet again. What I'm wanting to do now is I'm wanting to kind of render the hand here. And well, I know I can do this. I know I can put the rings on here because he's got like these metal finger things, and it's really messing up the look of the hand. By the way, oh boy! But he has metal rings on his fingers. What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do about that? He's got like these brass knuckle fittings on his hand. Okay. And yeah. Well, since it's a metal coating, I don't really need to add the whatever these bones are through here. I don't really need to add that stuff. So, God, my hand looks sweaty. I promise my hand isn't. There you go. I promise it's not that sweaty looking in real life. It's not. Then gonna figure it out. Summers in Kentucky, na 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 na. I don't even know how I found that guy on YouTube. It's one of these things where you watch one thing after another. I was listening to a lot of jazz, and I don't even like country for the most part, especially not modern country. I like what's called outlaw country. I don't know if you've heard that before, but like outlaw countries like Johnny Paycheck, Johnny Cash, Merle Haggard. There's like a whole slew of these guys. And these guys would write songs about what real people go through, what real life is like, working, having to work a lot, things not working out. And, yeah, it was based, I don't know. It's like white man blues or something. I don't know. I don't know how to phrase it, but like, to me, it's like everyman blues, I guess, because anybody can relate to it, maybe outlaw country is obviously a southern thing, but I feel like anybody can relate to that music. My problem with modern country, and I've never been a country guy. I love metal. I like jazz. I like blues. Some classical and grunge and alt rock and stuff like that, and just a little bit of everything. I like anything that's got sincerity. I like pop music. If it sounds sincere, if it sounds like it's coming from the heart, then I like it. I don't like stuff that's fake, that's not genuine. But anyway, my thing with freaking modern country that I don't like about it is all the songs are the same. First of all, like Come on down to my house. We're going to have a good time with my pickup truck. Going to have a barbecue. You know, and all the, all the, all the songs are the same for modern country. They're all, you know, pickup trucks. There's girls with these cut off jeans, you know, and dancing around. Everybody's having a great time, and they're barbecuing, and there's friends getting together. And like I can't relate to that, you know, because that's not like reality. I mean, how do they have time to freaking barbecue all the time and have pickup trucks and stuff? You know, that's that. I don't think that's the reality for a lot of people. You know, I mean, sometimes it's good to project a fantasy. I mean, like I'm doing comics. Comics are pure fantasy, so I'm a little bit of a hypocrite. But man, like to me, country, like especially outlaw country, is all about, you know, being authentic and being real. You know, what is the common man's reality? What is his real thing? You know. So Lion's Den writes, "I'm a hip hop rap type of guy." Well, good, that's cool. What type of hip hop do you like to listen to? You know. Dave writes, CB, you got to make the time. You got to make the time. Let's see, make the time. Make the time to listen to modern country. What's that in reference to? I'm trying to figure it out because I can be a goofball with things. I want to be careful before I start shading that shoulder. I haven't really fully made my mind up what I want to do with it yet. Let's see. I'm going to shade the fingers. Yeah, but that's my thing with modern country. I can't relate to it. Oh, Dave writes. I was talking about earlier about, you know, freaking watching the replay. Why I don't like modern country, and they're all barbecuing in big trucks and stuff like that, and how I can't relate to it. And he says you got to make the time for barbecues and pickup trucks. That's true. You do. But it's hard, man. It's hard. Dave says, I stopped listening to music in '98. Mainly a British rock guy, right? Mainly British rock. That's pretty cool. Like, are you talking about the classics or like newer British rock? Are we talking like, you know, the classics, like I guess like the Who and Zeppelin, Stones, the Beatles, which some people, you know, don't consider the Beatles like rock, but they did kind of, well, they were rock, you know, for their time, and then they got progressively more what we consider rock now, you know. Uh, I'm actually not super familiar with a lot of modern British rock because and I don't think it's any particular person's group's fault. It's just a weird thing now where everything's just pop music everywhere. You really have to look for your favorite music category or music whatever, you know, because pop music is being pushed so hard, you know, it's just everywhere. And I do like pop music, you know, as long as it's got a good beat and it's semi sincere or whatever, or I don't know, pulls on the heartstrings. But a lot of pop out there is just a bunch of fluff and croning for lovers and you know, songs about men, like how they have to grovel to get the girl. They'll do anything to get the girl and all this other stuff. And a lot of the women's songs. How are modern women pop music? I guess is mainly just about empowerment, and they're not going to take this, not going to take that, and then after a while it becomes noise because everybody's doing the same thing. So I feel like it just kind of hurts it, you know. Dave Hingley writes bands like Iron Maiden, TerraVision, and the Wild Hearts. So I've not heard TerraVision and the Wild Hearts. So let me. I'm grabbing my ink pen here. Let me grab my notebook. Let's see. You never know. I might find me something new I like. But yeah, I really like. I like the classic British rock. I like, and I also like NWO, BHM. A lot of great stuff came out of that. Diamond Head and Motorhead and a couple other head name bands. Iron Maiden. There's a band called Satan. That's actually pretty good. I like their newer stuff better than their older stuff. The Tigers of Pantang, freaking. I lost my pen here. I'm sorry. Tigers of Pantang. Really fun band. It's a really fun band. Angel Witch, another great band. I like Angel Witch's new stuff as well. They're old and new. Man, there's a bunch of them. There's a bunch of NWO BHM bands, and quite a few of them made a comeback in the millennium. And then they kind of disappeared again. And there's a couple that's still actually touring. You know. Summers in Kentucky and the mine stuff. Oh yeah, this I know what this is. This is like a milk carton. That's what I drew. It's a milk carton. I wasn't for sure there for a second. And this is a shake, milkshake, because it brings all the girls to the ground. And they're like, you know, it's better than yours. And I'm like, something or other. Put a little logo there. I don't know what that logo's about. You can't even see what I'm doing. I'm sorry. I'm sitting here drawing a garbage can and the camera's like way panned up there. What the crap? I am so sorry. See, that's the problem. You know, when I zoom in, I'll go draw somewhere over here, and I forget that I need to drag the page so you can see it too. Oh crud! Okay, I need to figure out this shoulder. I need to get this shoulder done because it's just kind of sitting up there. Since you mentioned Iron Maiden, you know, my favorite two Iron Maiden's albums, if I can remember, is the first Iron Maiden album by self-titled debut. I thought that was really great. You know, all the songs were kind of sort of different from one another, but also, you know, you can tell the same band did it. I thought the original vocalist did a really cool job. You know, like he's basically a punk singer. You know, and it sounded really really great. Um, and then my other favorite Iron Maiden album is Brave New World. You know, it's very melodic, but also is a you know has that classic metal sound that Maiden does. You know, with Bruce Dickinson on vocals, which Bruce Dickinson's been on vocals since you know time immemorial with Iron Maiden. Original vocalist, I think he only made it like 2 albums, maybe 3. I think it's just 2. It might have been freaking gosh, what it was what is it called? The second album might have been called Killers. It might have been what it was called. Okay, I'm liking this shoulder now. This is pretty good, but I need to put something in here since so I mistakenly added this cross hatching and kind of conflicts a little bit. But I got this bubble here, so he's gonna have shiny shoulders. That was kind of on the spot. But my favorite two Iron Maiden albums is the first one and also freaking Brave New World. Those are great. Not to say that Iron Maiden hasn't done other great albums, but those speak to me. The Lions Den writes, my top 5 favorite rappers are NF. Which you have to forgive me because I don't know. I'm not familiar. I'm not super familiar with rap. Kendrick, Lamar, J. Cole, Token, and Eminem. Lyrics is what matters, not the beat. I don't like mumble rap. that's what I would be. I'd be a mumble rapper. You know, I want to cheat. You know, I want to fake my way into the rap game. Wonder if I can rap. Wonder if I can do this. I'm going down the street. I'm going down the street looking pretty fine. I'm going to take what's mine. Rat-a-tat-tat, leave you on the ground. Maggots, consume your body. I lost it. I may have had it for a fraction of a second, and then it was gone. It just left me. It's like, no. The metal gods wouldn't allow it. It's like, no, you must stick with the metal. We forbid this. I don't know if you heard this, but there is some rap that I do like though. I don't know if you remember this, but like in the early 2000s, P Diddy, old P Diddy, he took some tracks by Biggie Smalls that were made before he died, but they were never finished, and a lot of the stuff was just him, just rapping with no beat or nothing like that. So he took and he added beats to the songs, and then he mashed people up with other people, and then put out an album. And everybody's forgot about this album. It's like the weirdest thing. Everybody just like, I don't know what the deal is with that. It's kind of a big deal, Everybody made like a huge deal out of, Biggie Smalls, and not saying that it shouldn't be. Biggie Smalls and Tupac, getting killed. But when Biggie has a post-mortem album release, and it was big for like a month or two, and then after that, it just like went away. Well, anyway, for anyone curious or interested, there was a song that was great. And P. Diddy mashed up Biggie Smalls with this Jamaican guy, Bob Marley. Bob Marley, there we go, the Bob Marley, legendary dude. He took these two songs that were not related to one another, and he mashed them up, and it was like great. I love it. So look up on YouTube, Biggie Smalls, Bob Marley. This might be a good. I don't even know if I can even do this experiment right now. I could. Wonder if I can go to web and then look up YouTube. No, I'd have to look. I'd have to have it. No, I can't do it. I'd have to have it, kind of researched beforehand to be able to share it. But it's a great song. I love it. And then there's another one it's a mashup where somebody took a 9 Inch Nails song and mashed it up with a 50 Cent's song. I forgot what it's called, but it's the one where he's like, I love you like a fat kid loves cake. They took that and they mashed it up with a 9 Inch Nails song, and it's great. I love that. It's good. It's really good stuff. All right, that's not too bad. Not too bad. Not too shabby. If I say so myself. But as far as like rappers that I actually like, if there's any, probably like DMX, Method Man, uh, not Method Man. I'm sorry. I think there's a guy named Redman, something like that, an Afro Man. Yeah, stuff like that. Lions Den writes 21 questions. What's 21 questions? Is that a song, or is that like in reference to something I said, or are you wanting to ask 21 questions? See, I'm not hip. No, I'm not hip like I should be. I'm getting quiet again because I'm in deep thought and I'm working on feet. You can't even see I'm working on feet. All right, so I'm going to just do that. Let's see here. Now what? Now what I'm going to work on. Okay, I think what I need to do now is I need to get my pencil out and start figuring out the ninja. Because so far, I forgot what I was going to say. I guess it doesn't matter. If you forget it, it must not have been that important. So I'm just going to move on. 21 questions lined in wrote, and he said that's in reference to the 50 Cent song that you referred to. Thank you. So I guess yeah, the name of the song, 21. That was like if it's the same song I'm thinking about, but the birthday cake, that was a really big hit for 50 Cent. That was one of the first big videos that he had. I don't know if it was the main first one, but he was just singing to this girl how much he really likes her. Really, it's a borderline pop song, but it's hip hop. I guess that's what hip hop is. Hip hop is the pop version of rap. There's like different types of rap. Just like there's different types of rock, and um, talking like I'm an expert when I'm not. Shouldn't do that. But Dave writes, how long do you reckon you spent on this double page spread? Oh, well, if I had to add up all the time I spent on it, like actually working on it, I don't know, like 4 or 5 hours maybe. Like I haven't done like a lot of the work that I've done on it. You all have seen on camera. So when I work on this, pretty much the only time I work on it is on camera. Now I must confess though, I have worked on it today prior to me doing this live stream because seemed like I can't remember. I think yesterday I had finished this up and I was just on a roll, and it's really important for me to get this done because this might get included with somebody's project that they're working on. And so I want to try to get this done, and yeah, it's time sensitive. And also, I'm really enjoying it, but I think maybe 5, 6, 10 hours max or something like that is how much I spent on this double page spread. And that's over like a series of videos. Like I'd do a live stream and then I would work on it and then, that sort of thing. Which I could be wrong. And then also like I ended up doing a lot of, whenever I'm not working on this, I'm doing stuff like this. I'm doing like fan arts. Like I was working on this. What time I started on the double page spread, and then I ended up working on this. And I don't think there's another fan art that I was working on at the time. I don't think so. Yeah, I think that's it. So I got 2 fan arts done what time I was doing this too. It's really good for my mind too, because I was singing the praises doing fan art, how it's a symbiotic relationship, how everybody benefits. The creator of the thing that you're doing fan art of also gets a bit of a bump from your viewers and your audience that may see it and might be like, oh, I'm interested in that stuff that you drew, so I'm going to find that creator and follow them, you know. And then also you get better because you're drawing more and you're doing fan art, you know, and then you might get a little bit of a bump from their audience who may see like, oh, you know, I really like how you rendered that person's character, so I'm going to follow you now, you know. And it's just this really nice thing that's going on that I wished everybody would do indie fan art, you know, because it helps everybody out in a cool way. That's just the way I look at it, though. I could be wrong. I might be missing something. Might be. Now I need to get the pencil out so I can fix this Ninja. Let me sip my Dr. Pepper. All right. I'm going to fix you, Ninja. Let me pan my camera up just a little bit and zoom in. This is kind of hard to do. I'm going to have to put my tripod on the drawing here. Yeah, that made it easier. Why do I make things so hard on myself? I don't know. I don't know why I do these things. I don't know. Let's see, I need to make it a little bit more menacing. So erase. And I need to erase. There we go. Much nicer. And I like the twirling effect because he's falling out of midair, and so he's got wind kind of doing its thing. And let's do this. Kind of add an arch to his back because he's compressing maybe a little bit. Maybe, I don't know. And let's put it right here. Let's drop a shadow behind him. So I'm going to make a note by drawing it. No, we don't want the shadow to go through the smoke. So we'll better shade it so that way I won't forget. I'm going to put a shadow back there. And also I need to have a shadow here. So I'm going to do this. And a little bit right here, so that way. All right, so I got a shadow going on here. I need to arc that foot to match the real foot. All right, so there's that. This is going to the smoke, so I can erase some of the details here. All right, so there's that. And now I need to figure out what the heck is his arms doing. You know, let me draw his little flaring up ninja dress. Could I have that going on? Can't forget that. Okay, so all right, he's looking a little bit better. I feel like he's looking a little bit better. So what am I going to do here? All right, that's good. That'll work. All right. So I figure I don't want to bore you to tears just talking about this. So I have a topic I like to share with everybody. I was watching I wasn't watching. I was on Twitter today, and you know, a lot of bad things is said about Twitter, and it does deserve the bad flack that it gets. But I recommend, for anyone that watches this in a replay or whatever, to get a Twitter. There's a really cool artist community there. Well, there's a couple, and it depends on which one that you associate with. And I'm not denigrating any group or anything like that. That's not my intent. But there are positive people. That's what I'm saying. There are positive people on Twitter. You have to find them though, because there's a lot of narcissists. There's a lot of narcissists that will hijack things and just take things in a very, very ugly direction. So you kind of have to watch for that, I guess. But anyway, my point is, so I was on Twitter, and there was what is the point? There was something I saw that was interesting. Oh yeah. So anyway, I was on Twitter, and there was an Indiegogo campaign. Not so much I wouldn't call it a campaign, but there's this guy who's part of Comicsgate by the name of Cecil. Now Cecil is he's very liberal. Not that matters or anything like that. There's nothing wrong with that. You be whoever you are. Be you. But I'm just like, for anyone that's curious, and he's a liberal that's part of Comicsgate, and he mostly just makes jokes and that sort of thing. He does have a comic book out called Cash Grab. I can't remember if it's drawn by Donald DeLay or who drew that book, but anyway, so he's got this comic book that's out, and he decided to team up with Dynamite Comics. Dynamite Comics is a publisher of a lot of acquired franchises, stuff that's not their own property, like the Bionic Man and Bionic Woman, Vampirella. I don't know. There's a bunch of stuff. John Carter or Mars. On and on and on it goes. Warlord of Mars. I can't remember. There's a bunch of Red Sonja, I think. Could be wrong. But anyway, the point is, Dynamite Comics is very much like Dark Horse Comics, where Dark Horse Comics publishes, like Aliens and freaking Predator and Terminator and a lot of franchises like that. Dynamite kind of does the same thing. Well, anyway, I'm building up to a point here, folks. I have to give a background because not everybody, knows this stuff. There's nothing wrong with that. Because people have a life. But anyway, Dynamite Comics has been publishing a lot of CG projects, and when I mean publishing, hey Abe, oh, you missed it, man. It's in the replay. Firepower by Abel Parson, Abe Sapien. This is the fan art, the close up of it. I went to a big analysis. Speak English, CB. I'm breaking down mentally. I need to focus, calm my mind. I went into a big analyzing thing, even though that wasn't the word I was trying to say, about firepower and at the beginning of the stream. But I'll talk about this. I'll talk about this before we go. Okay, I'll do a recap on this. But anyway. Yeah. I'm talking about CG stuff right now. So, what is the CG stuff? So, Dynamite Comics has done a lot of CG projects. Now, they had not actually published CG books, but what they would do is they would take a Vampirella comic, and they would say, okay, Ethan Van Sciver, you can draw a cover, whatever cover you want, and put it on this Vampirella comic. And so that's what they've been doing. So they've done that with Ethan Van Sciver. They've done that with I feel like two or three other people, and I cannot remember who these other people are. There's this girl named Star Wars Girl. She's part of Comicsgate. She did a Vampirella cover, but she actually drew Vampirella, whereas Ethan Van Sciver did Vampirella, Cyberfrog, and Salamandroid, and somebody else did one, but I can't remember. And eventually, Cecil of Comicsgate did a cover, and it's just like a cartoon version of him, and he's got all these women beside him and stuff like that, and his whole shtick, he's supposed to be like this playful character, this goofball, and so everything was going all right. But what happened was Dynamite Comics promoted it on their Twitter. This is something that they've not done before, and a lot of people came after Dynamite Comics, because they're accusing them of supporting bigots and racists, misogynists, and all this other stuff, and it just gotten this real big thing, and it's the weirdest thing. Nobody had a problem with Ethan Van Sciver or Star Wars Girl or these other Comicsgaters drawing covers, but for whatever reason, when Cecil did it, it was just too much. It's the weirdest thing. I don't understand it. And so there was a lot of comic pros that were leaving Dynamite, saying that they can't support the company, all this other stuff. And then there was a lot of Twitter feedback. It's just this big explosion. And the guy who runs Dynamite just couldn't cope with it. He tapped out. He talked to Cecil, I guess, and he's like, this ain't working out. And so the way it came across, they mutually agreed, which I don't know if that's true or not, but they mutually agreed that they was going to drop it. And all it was a cover for a Vampirella book and stuff like that. And I think it was a Vampirella book. I have no idea. Could have been Bionic Man for all I know. So that's the big news of the day. The whole thing's surprising. So let me answer some of these comments. Dave Wright says, I understand that EVS paid Dynamite to license the covers. It's a program that shops could have their own variant covers if they paid Dynamite. I think so. I'm not really sure how it works. My best understanding, and I'm probably wrong, I have to do more research, but let's pretend. Well, no, I better not. It gets confusing. Let's just say, you got Dynamite publishes Vampirella, and EVS says, hey, I'd like to draw a cover for Vampirella or whatever, and buy a bunch of copies and resell them to my audience. And so that's what the Indiegogos are for some of these things, like these Vampirella covers. And so basically, I guess they kind of do what you said, where they license the covers, and they buy a bunch. I guess they do an Indiegogo to buy a bunch of the books, and so everybody wins. Everybody makes a lot of money and stuff like that. And it's weird, because in a way, you got Cyberfrog and stuff on the cover of this Vampirella book, but he's nowhere to be found in the actual story. But it's good. Dynamite makes money, and the CGers make money, and just everybody's doing good as far as that goes. And then the fans that want to support it, they're happy with it. But today, I guess it was today, and just all that just came to a head, and it just exploded, So I feel bad for the president of Dynamite. So he's having to deal with the worst of Twitter right now. He's not only is he having to deal with the repercussions of people that are calling themselves social justice warriors, are sympathetic to that train of thought. He's having to deal with that, but the president of Dynamite is also having to deal with disappointed Comicsgaters who are like, and not too happy as well. Though the Comicsgaters are a little bit more civil about it, but I'm sure there's a few turds that are not. Man, that's a big mess to get into. That is man, he's in a bad spot now. So I don't know how that's going to play out. Um, Abe writes, he looks like the guy from RoboCop. I'd buy that for $1. What the ninja or Cecil or the president of Diamond? Not Diamond, Dynamite, or you have to clarify for me. I'm a lost soul with pop culture information. Sometimes I'm the guru, and other times I'm the maroon. Okay, I'm a total maroon. All right. Oh, Abe says Cecil. He does. Yeah, now that you mention it, I picture it in my head. He does like I'd buy that for $1. Yeah, that's true. Oh man. You know what I could have been doing? What time I've been talking about controversy? I could have figured out what the heck this ninja is doing with his hands. Gee, oh, CB, get it together. Get it together. The most excellent Will Avenger of Will Avenger Comics says, "Love the intro. Thank you." You know, the original intro of the show was I had Dio in it. And I had to take Dio out. It was Rainbow in the Dark. And what ended up happening is I kept getting these copyright claims. You know, every time I would do a show with Rainbow in the Dark, which I didn't do many with it, or I'd just upload it by itself, so that way I'd have it on YouTube in case my phone blew up or computer or whatever, which my computer's already toast. But so I get these copyright claims. I got like 2, maybe 3 so far from BMG Entertainment. And that's fine. You know, the artists, the people that create these songs and stuff should be compensated because it's not my song, you know. That's not the issue. But the problem is, the problem becomes, you know, because I don't mind them taking money out of my pocket because I don't make money from a YouTube channel anyway. The problem becomes is what if it goes from freaking copyright claims to copyright strikes? And see, that's more of a problem for somebody with a YouTube channel, you know, in a lot of ways. So what I want to do is I don't want to roll the dice with that. So I kind of had to, you know, cut it out and just leave it by the curb. And so I had to find royalty free. So if any of you want, you know, aren't doing your own shows, either watching live, which pretty much everybody's kind of doing their own thing on YouTube. That's watching right now. But for anyone that's not, or anyone that's watching the replay later on, I just, you know, want to mention that what you want to do is if you decide to have an intro, you need to look up royalty-free music on YouTube and use that. Now you have to be careful. You have to be careful. Some stuff claims to be royalty-free when it's not. And I happened to find a song that I thought, yeah, this is cool enough. I like this. And it comes from White Bat Audio. White Bat Audio has a YouTube channel. One of the best royalty-free things out there. There's another guy I like to use a lot, and I cannot remember his name. Technoaxe with a K instead of a C. Technoaxe. There's Technoaxe and White Bat Audio. And White Bat Audio is fantastic with their music. And I found a song that worked for me. Ironically, you know, great minds think alike. I think that's where Jeff Lafferty got his intro music from too. Because I heard the song on there and it's like, yeah, great minds think alike there. Yeah, we have good taste. I love Jeff Lafferty's intro, just a little bit better in a way. I think it's the animation and stuff he did because, again, he does stuff that I like. I think that's part of it. Yeah, it's like these days I kind of have to hurry and do whatever it is I'm going to do because Jeff Lafferty's going to end up thinking of it himself, and he's going to do it. So I have to rush, get it out there before he does. Now, talking about this Flumsy Ninja that I'm drawing, it looks trust me, if you've not been watching it from the beginning, this looks a little bit better than how it started. I had a problem when I drew this page, and let me zoom out here, okay? I'm going to tell you what my problem is. All right. The problem with this page is I have Chainsaw Ninjas. Now, there's nothing wrong with Chainsaw Ninjas. I love Chainsaw Ninjas. Chainsaw Ninjas are an important part of Wildcat's history or story. But I have limited references for chainsaws. What I wanted to do so bad when I drew this page, I wanted to make sure I had references for the chainsaws because I wanted them to look authentic. No, I'm sorry, I'm burping. I really wanted them to look authentic. I really wanted to pimp out the chainsaws and because I feel like, if you use reference for it, it's going to really make it pop and really sink you into the story. And what ended up happening is a lot of the way that I posed the guys with the chainsaws, like this guy, his chainsaw's pointed up, and this guy's chainsaw's pointed up, so forth and so on. I was, maybe because of poor research on my part, but I couldn't find a lot of references for people holding chainsaws a certain way. And so I kind of had to, I had to just wing it. So I had to, I had to figure out how to draw a chainsaw from the bottom up, and just kind of improvise. It's not what I wanted to do at all. I did not want to do that. I really wanted to make sure my chainsaws look authentic, but I think they look pretty good. Not the best in the world, but I think it does the job, and I think when it's colored, it'll look a little bit better too. So anyway, the problem is because of that, and because I got people jumping, I think a little bit too much about stuff than what I should, because this is comic books. Why does it matter? But realistically, if he's got a chainsaw, he's got a chainsaw. He has a chainsaw. Everybody gets a chainsaw because the Oprah is the Shogun in their universe, so everyone gets a chainsaw. And they're hopping out of the air. This guy he may accidentally get cut up, One of these guys may actually accidentally get cut up, so they're really going to have to watch what they're doing with the chainsaws. This guy, if I drew him with a chainsaw behind him, he's going to hurt their boss. So that's just, you can't have that. That ain't going to work. So I cheated. It's like I'm pointing this stuff out, but for anyone that's new to it, I hope they don't really notice. So what I did was, I know you can't tell because I effed it up. I drew a guy with a sai right here and a really crappy ninja star. I got this guy life fielding it out with some dual swords. Got this guy here. You know what? I'm not going to do the life field thing because I'm going to put another hand here, baby. And you got this guy here. He's got two swords on his back, even though ninjas didn't really wear. Shinobi did not wear swords on their back, and if they did, it's because they're climbing a tree. But I got two chainsaw guys here. I know you can't really tell, so that's a problem I had. Answering questions, Dave Hingley says, his cartoon reminds me of Captain Chaos from Cannonball Run. Captain Chaos. Cannonball is Cannonball Run's that really old show, isn't it? Where everybody is in this race. Is that what it is? We're in this race and they're all racing one another, and it's like a cross country or something. It's a very fun show. I could be wrong. I don't know. I have no idea. Abe writes, have you watched those Chainsaw Jugglers? They may have some stills of that. You see, this is what I'm talking about, guys. I do poor research sometimes. It's very unfortunate. That is a good point. Chainsaw Jugglers. That I would have maximum amount of references. For fish sticks' sake. This It's redonkulous. Don't watch my spelling. Don't judge me. Okay. Let me sip my Dr. Pepper for a second. You know, when I get in motor mouth mode, it's a bit much. Okay. Here we are. What am I doing? Oh, yeah. I'm working on this Ninja. So let me prop my camera up here. Pile this bad boy down. And you know what? Because I'm a nice guy, what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in so you can see all the mistakes. All of them. I tell you one mistake I made right now is like, realistically, his arm is not going to be that long. So how am I going to fix this? I'm going to zoom out a little bit. How am I going to fix that? I have to redraw it in a way. I have to bring him down more that way. Erase this. Bring him down, and then, you know, I'm going to have his little fly thing here. Bring it more down that way, and we'll say that's smoke there. All right, and then make sure that there's a little bit of continuity stuff. Okay, so I got that, and I lowered it just a little bit. Need to make it look natural, though. It looks a little awkward. And maybe raise this. Ooh, I don't know. It's fine. It's fine. I lowered it not much. I may have to go further. Abe writes, have the Ninja have his fingers over the handle, not as a fist grabbing the hilt. Have the Ninja have his fingers over the handle, not as a fist grabbing the hilt. Lucifer Storm, glad to have you here. He says, I hope I'm not too late. No, I don't think so. Everything right now hinges on two things. Cooper waking up, my 3-year-old waking up from his nap, you know, because he's not very cooperative. You know, I love my son to death. He's like Animal from the Muppets. And so once he goes. And you're just along for the ride. And then the second thing is freaking Wi-Fi. You know, I got bad internet. I got 54% on my phone, so I'm rocking. I'm good to go as far as that goes. So that's pretty much my only issues. Yeah. So we're good. We still got time right now. Let's see. If I say that his arm, oh my gosh. This is terrible. There's only one thing to do. Yeah. All right. All I've been doing right now in the past 5 minutes is trying to freaking figure out where his freaking Fraggle Rock freaking sword is going, and trying to make the anatomy look somewhat whatever. And of course, I can cheat and use the smoke to cover it up, but I'm trying not to cheat. Okay? I'm trying to be a good guy. All right, I got to really think about this. Got to get this crap out of the way. There. How you like me now? You thought you was going to embarrass me, but it ain't going to happen. Because, you know, let me tell you something. You don't embarrass me, because everybody knows that I'm the greatest of all time. It just ain't going to happen. You thought it did, you sneaky ninja, but no, not in my house. Okay, so now we're going to fix this, and we're going to do it right. All right, so I can have his shoulders any freaking way I want, because I'm going to do it right now. So let's see here. I'm going to put this shiny material back up here. And then I want to go do this. All right, so. All right, how am I fixing this? So I'm going to bend the arms. Because what I'm going for is, instead of doing the Liefeld double sword hand thing, I'm going to go for double grip. So I'm going to figure this out. So we've got that. And it's kind of a weird semi-tangent thing going there. So now I can't even show how freaking long the handle is. Maybe I can. I don't know. Better not do that. We're going to pretend it's a short handle. So we got this kind of going on right here. And yeah, so I can do the arm more down here. That'll work. Yeah, I'll do that. That's what I'll do. I'll curve the sword because a real Japanese sword is curved. Which there are such a thing as Japanese straight swords. But Shinobi didn't really use those a lot because those were not common. They used the regular Japanese swords, which are curved. They have an arc to them. And a real katana, which there's like different kinds, comes in different sizes. Katanas were freaking long. Those things are ridiculously long. But I tell you what, nobody gets close to you. You know, once you draw your sword, you keep them back, you know, like many feet. So, what am I doing here? So, going to say that let's take this arm and make it go. Not that sound, but let's make it go down here, right? And then this hand is going to come up here. There we go. All right, something like that. Elbow there. All right. I think your all's positive energy is fueling me to do this better. So I'm going to give you the credit. So this much better, much better. Okay, and I just fixed the hands. I got this going on. I need to have his freaking drapery because for whatever reason I drew I drew my ninjas looking like a mix between like druids and monks and then shinobi and stuff like that. Just all over the place. I really need to shade this in, and I guess this needs to be here. I'll shade that in. Now, where'd my feet go? I erased my feet. Whatever. I'll draw new feet. Feet that are so stunning that I'll win an Eisner Award. Make no bones about it. Okay, maybe not an Eisner Award. Maybe I can settle for a good job. Good job, CB. That looks a little better. I think so. Yeah, I'm liking that. That's got a better feel to it, better vibe. Let me zoom out and let's get a gander here. What the crap? Can't do anything. Am I zoomed out? Yeah, I'm zoomed out. Okay. So I like how that's coming together. It's coming together pretty good. Okay, better pizza, better ingredients, Papa John's. This is going good. Oh boy, I'm going to shade that for a reason. Okay, so shade the leg. Shade, shade, shade. And the only reason I'm shading it now is so I kind of know where it's at. So I'll know. I won't get confused because I feel like everything's really piling in here. I'm going to start getting confused. I'll ink the wrong thing. I'll make a mistake. You can't make mistakes in comics. It's not allowed. Okay. I got some sausages drawed on one handle. Let's see if I can get over here, and so I need to put a thumb here so I remind myself that's how that grip should look. So fingers, fingers, fingers. So it needs to all be the same kind of fingers thing, because when you grip a sword, oh my God, I can't do it that way. Well, when you grip a sword, okay, guys, when you grip a sword, the blade has to face a certain direction. So what I need to do now is I have to fix the blade. If I fix the blade, then I can keep these grips. When you, if I zoom out for a second, when you grab a sword, you want your fingers facing the same way. It's hard to show right now, but like you grab and then you grab. And so your first fingers, if you point them out when you grab a sword correctly, they'll point in the same direction. You should never grab a sword where everything's pointing that way. It needs to be like this. And the hands don't need to be together for a Japanese sword. They need to be spaced out like 1, 2, 3 fists apart. And the reason for it is you grab the bottom end of the sword, and this pulls and this pushes at the same time. And so it adds a really good torque. So as you use a little bit of muscles with the swing, you do this at the same time, gives you extra power. So let's figure out how am I going to do this. So if the fingers are facing this way, like toward you, toward the reader, then the blade would have to be dead center. So let me see if I can fix that. I'm going to have to erase. That's going to be kind of tough to draw because it's got a slight arc to it. And yeah, it is what it is. No one can say I didn't try. You know what I mean? Maximum effort here. Okay, so let me erase a little bit of the fingers so I can make out what the heck is going on here. Alright, got that. And I think kind of do an indentation because see if I can make these go more this way a little bit. Let's see, and then over here, man, I still got that song in my head. It's by this guy named something Wheeler Jr. I can't remember what that guy's name is. It's called Summers in Kentucky. For any younger people that's watching this that don't like naughty words and naughty language, that's what you're going to hear. Summers in Kentucky, you na na na. I don't know the lyrics, but whatever. Stuck in my head. And you're mine when I was 16. Down by the creek. All right, answering comments. Lions Den writes, there are no accidents. No, I don't make accidents because I am the greatest of all time. It's undisputed, unchallenged. Everybody knows this. Why else would I have, why else would this be a thing? YouTube wouldn't let me post this unless this was true. See, drawing hands. Will Avenger Comics writes, drawing hands going away from the body or viewer is something I struggle with. Hands are hard in general. Hands can be, there are days when I draw hands and it's like I feel like I'm a hand drawing pro. Like no one can touch my hands, physical or drawn. But then there are other days when I draw hands and it's like, what the crap? What is going wrong here? Why is this not working? I hate when that happens. You know what? I'm gonna erase this because I can. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna smoke it up, toke up the fun there. There we go. I'm not cheating. Okay? That's not what that's about. What I'm doing is, I thought it looked cooler just to take his arm out and put that smoke there. Say what you guys will, okay? Say what you want. I know the truth. All right, let me shade this in, and then I can add getting hard with the blacks there. So I need to make sure what is this? What did I draw here? Oh, that's his mini skirt. Whatever that thing is. I think that's what that is. I guess. I don't know. I don't know what I drawed there. See, it's getting really confusing now. But once I ink it, it should look better. You should be like, oh, I guess that's what that is. And when I color it, it'll make a lot more sense. And let me go ahead on this foot. See, this is going to get me a lot of viewers right here. Just drawing this ninja foot. Gonna have all these wrappings on here because I don't know why. I don't know why the ninjas needed all these wrappings. You know what? I think what it was is traditional pants in ancient Japan. You can see kendo people wear these, and they're like you remember like bell bottoms? Well, the traditional Japanese pants are like bell bottoms, but they're like bigger than that, and they basically make it look like men are wearing a dress, but they're actually pants. So my best assumption is this is one part I can't speak on with any type of authority, is that the freaking shinobi, they probably took their dress pants and then they wrapped their legs and arms with this material with bandages or whatever, so that way they could climb trees and stuff. You can climb trees with traditional Japanese dress, Japanese pants, those big baggy things. You can climb trees with it. But I guess shinobi, there's some people probably had trouble, so they probably learned to wrap their legs, so that wouldn't be an issue. So there you go. A little bit of pseudo history, maybe. Who knows? All right, so since I erased all this crap, let me kind of draw this arm in here. All right, and I don't know what the crap. Yeah, he needs to have this drapery going on here. Shade that. And just do a bunch of whatever things. And yeah, take that to the bank. So let's zoom this ninja out. And yeah, I need to make sure that, see, that's looking like a blade. So it's thinner than that. It's thin. So I need to make sure that I do this so there's no mistake that this is a thin blade. And traditional blade, so it's going to be longer, a lot longer. So legit samurai, they had like 3 or 4 swords that they wore on them at all times. There was They had a sword on them about this long, roughly. Can't remember. This might have been called, well, maybe a little shorter, but it was called a tanto. It's basically a kitchen knife. Then they had a sword that was about half as long. Not half as long, but like double the size of this. So they had a sword that's about 2 foot long that they packed on them. And then they had the big sword, which was like this. Okay. Each sword served a function. So like if you're outside and stuff, this would be the sword that you draw to keep people at a distance. If you're inside one of those tiny Japanese hut things, you're going to draw the other 2 swords. So the sword that's half that size, which would be like from here to there, maybe a little longer, that would be an indoor sword. Okay, and the reason you wouldn't use the long one is because it would keep getting stuck in crap, because where it's enclosed quarters, this is an outdoor sword. So you want to use the one that's shorter than that. And when you're taking a bath, when you're sleeping, or anything like that, you would use the tanto, which is about that long. It's a one-handed weapon. You use the tanto to defend yourself if you had to. So, cue the rainbow, the more you know, right? The more you know. That's not an actual song, but it's something from G.I. Joe. All right, so let me see. I like how that ninja turned out. I saved him. I brought him from obscurity. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure I darken in some of the background just a little bit so I know what the heck it is that I'm drawing. All right. Right. Don't want to get lost here. Line. There'll be a line. 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 See, line. 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 Okay, so you're not going to see any visible lines on those bricks. Okay. Make sure I darken that just a little bit. And anything else that I need to line up here? Go ahead and line. I'm sorry, guys. I'm getting quiet. I'm getting really focused. This is almost like mathematics to me, and help us all. Now, listen. I know what you're saying. I know some of you are looking. You're like, he's got these little thin bricks here, and he's got a big wide one here. Well, you know what? It's just how it is. Because in this world, I was the mason who laid the bricks. And I got a little lazy, got a little creative. And the price we all pay is we get these wonderfully organic looking bricks. Okay. I'm just going to keep going. Everything's all out of whack here. I need to have some type of symmetry though, just a little bit. I can break all these rules, but it needs to look where it looks like, it's okay. When I was 16. Wasn't it by the creek? All right. Dang it. Yeah, yeah. This will work. I don't have to go all the way down because I just need to get the bulk of it up here because this is kind of what I'm working on, and I'll finish this crap up down there. Okay, so I think it's getting time to ink. So I'm going to take my favorite brush here. Gotta be careful. That's Black India ink. I'm waiting for this piece to be demolished. Something's going to happen to it. Maybe not. I don't want this to be a knock on wood situation. Exhale. Just remember to breathe. By the creek. We messed around and we got cold feet. Ah, boy. Summers in Kentucky, they can't be beat. Yeah. All right. So earlier I was talking about the Comicsgate controversy, where Cecil, basically, he got his cover pulled by Dynamite because they were being pressured by a lot of people who identify as social justice warriors and stuff like that. And I know I'm being very wishy-washy and careful about my language about calling people this or that because, just because you're liberal doesn't make you a bad person. Just because you're conservative does not make you a bad person. Everybody has their viewpoints, their religious views and non-religious views. Everybody's different, And most people, most sane people, want the same things in life. They want to be happy. They don't want to cause anybody else any grief. They don't want to make nobody miserable. They just want to live life, and they want a sense of security. And see, the thing is, a lot of people want those same things, but they have a different way of going about it. And that's where we have trouble. That's where we have problems. But, I wish everybody would just remember, for crying out loud, we want the same stuff. We just want to go about it in different ways, to, different means to achieve the same goal. And that's where a lot of problems come in. Well, the other thing is there's a lot of people that are turds in this world that are manipulating large groups of people to for their own personal gain, And they always, for whatever reason, these people always get away with it. The spotlight's never put on them. Spotlight always gets put on the wrong people, and the whole time, there's a group of people that's manipulating large groups of people. It's very unfortunate. So anyway, taking it back full circle, talking about the Dynamite thing. I guess what I was talking about is I use the term people that identify as social justice warriors. And so I'm very careful about my language, or I try to be, because just because someone identifies as that doesn't make them a bad person. The majority of people want what they want, and they're well intentioned, but it doesn't mean that that the outcome that they create was the intended one. That sometimes people don't realize what they're doing, and that goes for liberals, conservatives, whatever. Just everybody. And because a lot of people think that this cause or that cause is a good cause, and when they actually sit down and look at it, if they ever do, they're like, oh, well, this isn't what I thought it was, because there's always one or two people at the top of the pyramid that's manipulating everybody else down at the base. And the people at the top of the pyramid, they never believe in the causes that they actually argue for. That's the weirdest thing, You think they do, but 9 times out of 10 they don't. It's all about power and money, Not saying that having money is a bad thing, because you got to pay your bills, you got to take care of your family and all this other stuff. But what I'm saying is, these people are mad with it, They're going insane for their lust of power and money, and they claim that they're for the causes that they support and all this other stuff when they're not. So anyway, I'm always careful about labeling people. I don't consider everyone the enemy of the state, just because they may have different views of mine or anything like that, because we're all human, right? The majority of people are good people, and they want the same stuff, just want to go about it in a different way. So anyway, kind of went on a tangent there, and I don't even know if I made any sense with that. But I think the whole thing's unfortunate with the Cecil cover, because there's a lot of people who identify as social justice warriors, and a lot of people who, if they don't even identify that, there's a couple of people that see Comicsgate, they view it as a hate movement. But there are a lot of people in Comicsgate that are, I hate to mention people's freaking skin pigmentation, because I don't think that should be relevant, but I guess in this conversation it has to be. But there's a lot of people that are black or Hispanic, and different races, different genders that are part of Comicsgate. So, to me, the Comicsgate thing, the argument that it's a hate movement, is not so much relevant. And a lot of the things that people cite to give evidence for that is usually articles that they get from news sites. And a lot of these news sites have a bias, these comic fandom news sites. So it's all interesting to me, how all this unfolds. So I feel bad for the Cecil guy. I feel bad for Dynamite Comics, and I'm kind of curious, how their sales are going to do, how they're going to be after all this is over, because basically they canceled Cecil's book, not his book, but his cover on one of their books. They parted ways, and now, you've got the people who identify as social justice warriors, and then you've got other people who just don't like Comicsgate because they've been told that it's a racist, bigoted movement or whatever, right? And they've not researched it beyond that. And even if they did, nine times out of 10, most of the news sites that cover Comicsgate put it in the negative context, and they never. So now that Dynamite has dropped the that cover, and they made this group of people happy. I'm curious if those people will continue to buy the books, or if they're going to continue to go after Dynamite now. So it's really interesting, the whole thing. And I'm purposely kind of hand drawing these bricks, because I feel like I like the organic look. Kind of gives it a very whatever look to it. It's just fun. All right, answering questions, comments. Will Avenger writes, does that brush hold ink consistently? I think you're talking about this one. It did. See, I've done a lot of fan art and a lot of different comic stuff with this, and it's just run out of ink. For anyone that's watching this that doesn't know, this was a gift from Will Avenger. This is awesome. It's one of my favorite pens. It's a brush pen or whatever. This is a Bemoji. It's a Bemoji. Comes from, I guess, Hobby Lobby. It's like $6 or whatever. And then, so you can find this on Amazon from like $6, $10. So in that price range. And the really cool thing is, before I go any further into this, I've explained this a lot to people, but you can judge the brush tip size. So it's pretty close to the real thing. And then the ink that comes out of it. So this is the size I use. Well, it's not like I'm a connoisseur of this. I got what I got. But I really like the output that I get out of it. And I used it so much that what ended up happening is the ink is gone. There's no more ink in this. This is a water-based brush. Water-based ink. There we go. And that it went away. So if you're still watching this, my internet's getting wonky, so I could disappear. And if I do, I love yous. I'll see yous when I see you. But anyway, the ink ran out on this, so I'm having to use Black India ink, and I'm just dipping it and stuff. Now, a lot of people have said online that this dries your brush out. I've not had that problem because I always make sure to put my cap on, so it actually helps to keep it kind of sweaty, so that my brush doesn't harden and become like a firm point. But even if it does, I'll just take it to the sink and wash it out, with soap or whatever. No big deal. But I haven't had to do that so far. But my ink ran out that was in the brush, and I'm having to do this, which it ain't no problem. That's how much I like this brush. Man, I gotta drink some Dr. Pepper here. That was a mouthful. Okay, so anyway, I was talking about the Cecil thing, yada, 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 yada. Feel bad for him, feel bad for Dynamite and stuff. Because I believe that the world is big enough for everybody's ideas, as long as they ain't being turds, And everybody's comics and everybody's whatever. But not everybody sees it that way, And that's why I think it's important, more so than ever, that we all need to kind of research and use multiple sources on things, because there's a lot of people that are telling you that this person's evil, or this group's evil, or this group's bad, this group's good and stuff. And like, do you really know though? Do you really know? Can you really trust the people the sources that are telling you that? And I would argue no, probably not. You have to use multiple sources of information to have an informed opinion. And some people might be like, why is that necessary? Why do you have to, why should I care? And it's like, well, the thing is, you can be manipulated. You can be manipulated by people. People will use you to get what they want out of you. Lucifer Storm writes, I hate to do this, but I got to go. I got foxes to feed, and I need to prepare for a live stream tonight. Really enjoy the show, CB. I'll catch you on the next one, buddy. Take care. Same to you. Same to you. Hate to see you go, but that's the way it's got to be. I've seen a lot of Lucifer Storm's videos, like mostly what I mean is like his Fox videos is what I'm talking about. Of course, I've seen his videos on YouTube, but a lot of his Fox videos are on Facebook. And he has, I think it's in his backyard or something like that. This started like a year or two ago, I think. And just some wild fox, just showed up on his property, and so he just left out a snack or two for it, and it came back ever since. And then this might have been going on for more than just a year, actually. And that fox had cubs and so forth and so on. So he's he's got a lot of foxes that show up now, Can't even see what I'm inking. I'm really botching this, by the way. Maybe I can save it. I don't know. Oh. So, I think I pretty much said what I had to say about the whole Dynamite thing. I just felt bad for everything. I repeated myself over and over about that. And I'm sorry about that. It's hard for me to use my creative brain and also use that same brain for conversation and drawing. So one thing usually has to give. Normally I would just kind of change the topic and then go into something else, Which I think I did, sort of, But my whole thing is you have to really research things, especially when somebody's telling you to hate this group or like this group, because then you have to beware, because they may not even have the facts straight themselves, And there's a lot of people that have an invested interest in manipulating information for their own personal gains, And it's sad that the world's like that, That you have to view multiple multiple news sources in order to have an informed opinion. You know, I mean, things are just bad right now with that. It's very unfortunate. Probably shouldn't ink all this with with this brush, but I love this wacky doodle thing. I just really enjoy it. I use it more than what I should, because there's some stuff you just kind of want to ink with, you know, thinner deals. I mean, you can do thin lines with this, but it takes a lot of control and stuff. A lot of discipline. Do you have the discipline? Oh, yeah. When I start getting quiet, you know I'm getting focused. I'm getting my folk on, as the Ultimate Warrior says. That's like Ultimate Warrior had this saying that for anyone that watches wrestling, you know, like he wanted you to get focused, but like he wants you to reach a whole new level of focus where you don't even say the whole word, you just folk. That's how focused you are. You got to folk, man. I miss the Ultimate Warrior. He was really taking YouTube by storm. I mean, he would have got huge there because he started doing a lot of these inspirational videos. You know, a lot of these motivational talks, and he would give a lot of tough love about stuff. And you know, his whole thing is like, you know, he wanted you to get up off your butt and quit daydreaming and stuff. Abe writes, do the voice, CB. I don't know if I can. Do the Ultimate Warrior voice. I've not actually done a lot of Ultimate Warrior impressions, so I can try. I can try to do an Ultimate Warrior. Let's see. Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan. You have trifled with the forces of the Warrior Nation for the last time. I will grab the controls of the plane, Hulk Hogan. I will grab the controls of the plane with you sitting in the back, and I will spin it into a nosedive. Oh no, that's my impromptu attempt. A writes, it's all about the lows to high, loud, aggro voice. It indeed. I can tell you what though, I can wax it like Ultimate Warrior did. You know, like how he would kind of go into a lot of creative, weird realms of communication and thought. Oh, I can do that, no problem. I can do that with like no other. It doesn't make sense, but it's more about the feeling it gives you more than anything. And you know, a lot of people. A lot of people gave the Ultimate Warrior flack over that, you know, like making fun of like, you know, how none of his promos made sense. But that's the thing. He was not, his character was from, it's just pure energy. It's pure something or another. I don't know how to put it in words, you know, he that's the way he's supposed to be, you know. I read all these interviews and all these people like, you know, making fun of him, and like the guy made money, you know. I guess, you know what the Ultimate Warrior is? The Ultimate Warrior is the Rob Liefeld of the wrestling industry, you know? And all these people are resenting his fame and stuff like that. And it's like, the guy made money, you know? He was doing something right, you know? He entertained people and people enjoyed it, you know? I'm gonna go out and beat these people attacking my Ultimate Warrior. Can't do that. Leave the warrior alone. Leave him alone. I don't know if anybody remembers that. There's this guy on YouTube. He kind of blew up big, because a lot of people were giving Britney Spears a lot of flack, because Britney Spears had she shaved her head bald back in the day. And I remember when this happened, by the way. And I remember thinking, so what? Like a lot of people didn't understand why she was doing that, A lot of people was like, she's went crazy. She's lost it. And I'm like, no. People didn't get it at all. That's not what was going on with Britney Spears. When she shaved her head bald back in the early 2000s, you have to